Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Bleaves Crypto Show. My name is Bleaves. We're here to talk about this crazy crypto world, and we are coming to you live from Bleaves Studios here in lovely, not downtown Chicago, where we're going to talk about this crazy crypto market. And hey, Maddie, would you put that thing back in your pants? Quit playing with it. This is me. Do what you got to do, man. Do what you got to do. Anyway. Let's talk about what's going on in the news. We're going to try to make this as fast as possible. My question to you today was, or my statement to you was to buy these 3 altcoins or you will regret it. However, I decided to expand on that brand just a little bit. So we're going to be talking about quite a few more. So I'm going to need a lot of time to get through this, and I'm going to try to do it as quickly as possible. Plus, we got a bunch of different pieces of news that we should or at least need to go over. Now, the number one news, the Fed will be meeting today. Tomorrow is going to be the rate announcement. It's expected that a 25 basis point cut is what we're going to see. If we get 50, if we get 75, it would be, first of all, a miracle. And secondly, almost impossible considering the conservative, backward, lack of direction nature that the Fed has right now. I don't remember who put I don't remember who nominated Jerome Powell, but that guy must have been an idiot. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's get after it. All right, first of all, Shiba Inu, Satoshi Kusama has broken a silence because, first of all, Satoshi is no longer involved in SHIB. He's moved on to AI-based culture, if you will. But Shiba Inu, Satoshi Kusama, responds to the $2.4 million Shibarium exploit. If you're wondering what's going on, there was a quote-unquote crack, if you will, in a wild scenario. It is my understanding that, you know what, maybe this actually will have an explanation to it. So in a rare public comment, Satoshi Kusama, the team lead for the SHIB project, confirmed he's actively working alongside the core developers to manage the fallout of a $2.4 million Shibarium exploit. Kusama rejected suggestions that he had distanced himself from the project, calling such claims utterly preposterous. Although I am focused on AI initiatives to benefit all our tokens, I remain with the developers and leadership in the war room. So he added that his initial silence was deliberate choice to fully assess the complex and deep situation before making any official remarks. So Shiba Inu had just announced a developer upgrade for Shibarium. The update aimed to simplify the interaction between validators and builders. So here's what happened. The exploit involved attackers gaining access to validator signing keys on Shibarium's bridge by executing a flash loan attack and purchasing 4.6 million BONE tokens. The perpetrators secured a majority of the validator power and moved assets off the network. In total, the attack drained about 2.4 million. Shibarium developers quickly froze validator functions. They moved the staking assets into a secure multi-sig hardware wallet and brought an external security partner, including Hexens, Seal 911, and PeckShield, to investigate. Daira, one of the project lead developers, emphasized that restoring network stability and safeguarding user funds remains the top priority. Now, here was, in a bid to recover the funds, K9 Finance offered a $23,000 bounty to the attacker for the safe return of stolen assets. The bounty is open for 30 days, but it will decrease after the first week. This highlights the urgency of resolution. Meanwhile, market prices took a sharp hit. SHIB saw a decline of 6%, but has now recovered, trading at 13,138 over the past week. And by the way, BONE experienced wild swings, first peaking, then plunging by almost 35%. The 9 token from K9 Finance also dropped more than 5% in a single day. Now, they've pinpointed where the problem was. They've addressed the issue, and they say that your funds are safe. So are they really? I don't know. We shall see, I suppose, over the next little while, whether or not it is in fact safe or not. But you can see right here, guys, this looks like a normal dip. I think the confidence has not been shattered. In fact, the best I could say here is we had already had a golden cross that ended up faking out on SHIB. And it looks like we're probably going to get a golden cross again in the next couple of days. So this might be all for nothing. So who knows? Anyway, if you haven't already, consider hitting that like button. It helps push me up in the algorithm. Next up, Citigroup predicts Ethereum price could crash to 2,200 by year end. Okay, Citigroup forecasts Ethereum price fall to 4,300 by year end, highlighting a deeper crash to 2,200 in a bearish case scenario. Now, they also expect, who would have thought it? Oh yeah, it was me. Who would have thought that the rally that they predict would be in that $6,400 range? Who else would have told you that? Oh yeah, it was this guy. So this is what it looks like. I don't really know, you never really know what we're going to get. Are we going to get the crazy run? Yes. How high is it going to go? I don't know. It just feels to me like Ethereum does not have enough motivation and leverage to push beyond 60. I think my number was about 6,100. So they're about $300 away from my original number. Let's go back over here. My number for Ethereum going into this was whoosh. Actually, mine was 6,015. So they're going a little bit higher. They're saying that they think that we're going to end up right about here in a breakout scenario. And I kind of agree with that. I don't see, and by the way, things could change dramatically. There could be a partnership or an announcement or something for Ethereum that's a paradigm shift. I mean, they're faster, they're more robust, more secure than they were before, other than when they were proof of work, I should say. And I mean, that's a great sign, but I'm not feeling Ethereum, despite the fact that we need to feel Ethereum in order to have a good run in this market. By the way, Bitcoin dominance starting to rise, which I think means that Bitcoin is about to break out as well. So we'll see what happens there, but what they're looking for is a breakdown to 2,200. However, that's not shared because Standard Chartered says treasury buying will boost ETH over rivals. Now, Standard Chartered says that they received strong support from meaning Ethereum, from Jeffrey Kendrick, Standard Chartered's global head of digital assets, who stressed its resilience compared to Bitcoin and Solana. Now, they're not giving any kind of prediction of what they're thinking that it's going to go to, other than the resistance, which is 49.46. But if the structure holds, guess what? Projections point towards a climb above 6,000 in December. So they're given the same thing. Okay. We could be looking at around a $6,000, $6,400 Ethereum by the end of this year. So we'll see what happens there. Now, Top Investor forecasts a major rally for Solana as AUM climbs to a record 4.1 billion. Okay, so assets under management for Solana, now 4.1 billion. That is a gigantic number. Crypto investor Ted Pillows drew attention this week to what he described as a massive on-chain activity. He pointed that more than 1.5 billion worth of SOL was purchased in just a few days. He also suggested a potential rally that could propel Solana towards $1,000 in the current market cycle. Remember, I gave you guys this the other day on X. Solana is back to its all-time high market cap. So in looking at Solana, in looking at it from a market cap perspective and zooming out to all-time, the all-time market cap was 123 billion, and that was in January of this year. It broke that to 126 billion just a couple of days ago. So now we've got a new all-time high. We don't have a new all-time high price. And why is that? And that's because there's more circulating supply than there was before. I mean, basically, that means the team kind of diluted it a little bit, but we're very close. When you look at the circulating supply, there's about 10% being held back still. So, there's a 10% variance at this point, but I think that's going to be a testament to the fact that Solana probably goes to, remember, by the way, when we were talking about $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 Solana, well, there's now way more Solana in circulation. So if you remember not that long ago, I reduced my call down to $750 from $1,200 to $1,300 because I'm just not feeling it. Solana is not making those same sort of headways. Now, the last time it hit the all-time high, it was at $300. So, or 295 was the number, but $300 was the last top over here. And now we have a higher market cap, but we're only at 235. So, paradigm shift. There's another 10% of supply that can go into it. So again, I'm going to mute my $1,200, $1,300 fanboy number to 750 and say that that's probably going to be the range. And it is possible, by the way, if we look at the way that Ethereum is moving, and if we just consider that Ethereum probably gets a nice little 25% bump off of it. And if that happens, then other alts probably get maybe a 50% bump off of it. Then we're talking about 450. So anywhere from 450 to 750 would become the new prediction. I'm going to stick right now with 750, but it's not looking great for Solana overall. And by the way, that doesn't mean that we won't. When I say that, what I mean by that is it's not going to have that huge parabolic run that we would hope that it has to validate some of the thesis that we've had, because there's too much supply that continues to be spilling out. While Ethereum has been, remember, there was 121 million Ethereum at one point, and now there's not. So when you break down how much there is, it's down to 120.7 million, which was, again, this circulating supply was higher. It was higher. So Ethereum having a good run, Solana, not so much. So we'll see what happens there, but we should be watching it. We should be paying attention. Now, for those of you that are wondering, why is DevvStream pumping, but DevE not pumping? NASDAQ listed DevvStream bought $10 million worth of Bitcoin and Solana as it looks to tokenize carbon credits. Now, DevvStream, parent company of DevE. DevE is probably the partner of NASDAQ for cryptocurrency. This is why they got the listing. This is why these things happen the way that they happen, right? But the firm had previously raised $300 million via senior secured convertible notes to purchase crypto. Combined with the planned expansion of our credit facility, we believe we are strengthening our balance sheet and positioning DevvStream to execute on tokenizing high-value environmental asset at scale. So NASDAQ listed DevvStream has kicked off its crypto treasury by deploying 10 million into Solana and Bitcoin, according to an announcement on Friday. The firm previously raised 300 million. So we'll see how much this, I assume that most of this is going to go in there and they're going to buy strategically. But as these things are happening, then yesterday we were talking about it and I didn't know where it was coming from. So it took a little research, but DevE had a nice little run up 8%, by the way, on the day today, and still continuing to spike almost to $3. Yesterday, where did we end up at the end of the day? Yesterday was $3.18. So a lot of attention starting to get paid to DevvStream. Maybe this is the start of some sort of rally. Maybe they're starting to learn, that is, individuals are starting to learn that there is a close-knit relationship and bond here, might end up being a breakout candidate. So I would be watching for that one to break out. Now let's talk to Kobayashi, because we're going to move fast here from this point on. History says the S&P will add 1,000 points beginning tomorrow through September of 2026. That is based on the Fed rate cuts. When the Fed cuts rates with the S&P 500 within 1% of an all-time high, it results in an average return of 15% over the next 12 months. Furthermore, according to our research, 1 month performance is more spotty, with stocks ending lower 50% of the time. History says near-term volatility after Wednesday's rate cut will be long-term buying opportunities. So, and by the way, when you're being told that, and when people start to know that, that's when the paradigm shifts. Because look, if I told you the strategy for a corporation, if I told you institutional money, if I told you how they make their money, they will change their strategy, because now you know you are now an insider, and they don't want insiders. So we should see a dip. Historically, we see dips, but now we have more information in front of people, which means that we're all playing the same game, and they don't play your game. Okay, they play their game, and their game is to take your money. Their game is to take your money. The end of story. They don't win unless you lose. And I hope that you understand that, and I hope that you plan for that. Also, there was another thing that came out the other day that said that Stellar, and by the way, this is the only, but the reason that I'm bringing this up, by the way, is the first comment that we had today was from Muskrat King, where he said, "Hey, Blaze, have you seen the NASDAQ Stellar relationship? Has DTCC named Stellar or Ethereum as the blockchain they will use?" Now, none of that has happened, okay? NASDAQ is using DTCC to clear and settle all trades in token form. What does that mean? It's utilizing the Depository Trust Corporation to clear and settle trades in token form, okay? And it's using the verified pool functionality standard ERC-3643. By the way, Devi does that. Stellar does that too, but so does Devi. So we will see what this means. But again, this is the only person, I'm scrolling through. This is the only person talking about this relationship, one single guy. So I don't know that that's going to mean anything. I don't know that that has any bearing on anything. It is a news article that nobody seems to care about. I don't know what that means for Stellar Lumens, but certainly not a good sign. However, when people start to find out about this, could it mean that there's a pump coming? And the answer to that is probably should. So I would suggest that you buy some Stellar if you have any capital on the side, but I would not put them in my list. I'm going to give you a top 10 list right now, and it's not going to be part of that. Okay. So if you want to buy some, you're on your own with that. That's not something that I would say. Bull market peak indicators, we are still at 1 of 30, and that 1 is the altcoin season index, which is kicking it in right now at 80, which means we're still in altcoin season, although it looks like we're about to fall out. I don't know that we will, but when you look at the altcoin season index and you look at the way that Bitcoin is starting to move, then there is a possibility that we see a break upwards on Bitcoin dominance and we go back to 0 of 30 by tomorrow. It is moving. Now, if you haven't already, become a member of the channel. It's $4.99 a month to become a member. Subscribers, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the like button no matter what you do. Also, again, that private chat in there, we gave you the right wing the other day. And that is, somebody asked me, is that another Roger project? It is not another Roger project. But it's, I think that it's timely. I think that it's present. I think over the next couple of days, because of what's going on with Charlie Kirk, because of what's going on with really a lot of people paying attention to the right-wing narratives, I think they're going to see a pump opportunity. Will they execute on that? I don't know. But I'm willing to hold on to find out, and I'll show you the charts in just a few minutes. If you haven't already, put your username into the chat. By the end of the chat, I'll give you $50 if you are on Terra Casino. If you are not on Terra Casino, then go sign up at terracasino.io right now. Once you've got your username, put it in the chat, and first person is going to get $50. So, and that, by the way, so you can put it on Louisville, who's playing this weekend. So there you go. Easy win. Or you can put it on whoever's going to beat Alabama this week. Right, Janet? I don't know. I really don't. By the way, I don't dislike Alabama. I think Alabama is a great team. Terraport.finance if you want to buy and sell Luna Classic meme coins or utility coins. Now, guys, I got to tell you, some of you like Terra Luna Classic. Some of you are holding on for a pie in the sky break to a penny or $1 or something like that. And I'm here to tell you that I don't think that that's going to happen. However, I do think that there's going to be a gigantic rally. And there are 3 reasons for that right now. Number one, USTD, which is the new stablecoin, which will be launched over here. The second, and by the way, the reason that that matters so much is because one of its protocols is a burn. So it is going to be used in the treasury to burn Terra Luna Classic and USTC. USTC still has no function, but this is a great opportunity. Okay. So we'll see whether that happens or not. But it depends on how much you get that people are holding on to for USTD. Now, if it gets a $10 million market cap, then it is profitable. It's incentivized. It's going to earn like $2 million a year. It won't have a gigantic burn, but it will have a nice burn. It will burn more than anything else that's being burned right now, which is a motivator for people. Okay. Now, if it goes to 20 million, that doubles. If it goes to 40 million, that doubles. And it's very, very easy. Here's the thing. USTC still has a market cap of over $70 million. So if that money starts to migrate rapidly into this stablecoin, Terra Luna Classic as well has a market cap of 327 million. If that happens, then you're going to start to see magnificent levels of burns. Now, here's the other part to it. The market module is coming along. Going to do the same thing. It's going to increase the level of burns. It's going to increase the nature of what's going on. And then finally, holding USTD is going to give you the highest interest rate of any current stablecoin. All of their money, they're doing this with smart contracts. First of all, make sure it's secure, make sure it's audited. But then you're going to be able to buy and you're going to be able to borrow and lend through the Juris protocol. Now, Juris has delayed the launch because their front end was kind of buggy when they were trying to take it to testnet. So it's going to be a few days for them to get it right so that they can do that. But you've got Juris protocol, which is going to replace Anchor protocol as your borrowing and lending application. You've got USTD, which is your stable coin, which allows you to effectively use the Juris protocol. You've also got USTR, which is run by Ceramic, which is going to be a stable coin that's bridged between Terra Luna Classic and BSC. BSC is also going to be where burns are happening for buybacks and burns for Terra Luna Classic using the USTR protocol. You've got a lot of reduction in supply getting ready to happen on Terra Luna Classic and USTC. So if you are not bullish at this point, that's okay, but you should be. And by the way I see it is this. I hold, I had a pretty good amount of Luna Classic, okay? What I think is going to happen is a crazy, crazy run about 40x to about a 12 billion market cap. And I think everything that's happening right now is going to make that really, really easy to do. Boom. And then I think that's going to mean that places like Terraport that has its own token that's tokenized, all of these things, probably going to cause a nice little boom, 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 boom. I don't think I think this just helps it get to 40x. I don't think that it's going to go. I just don't see it yet. But if I get a breakout and we get a breakout, we can always like reanalyze it. I'm saying that 40x is the top of that range and that 12 billion market cap should be pretty secure in that regard, especially with what's coming and what's going on. It could go higher. I don't see mathematically how it does that, but it could go higher. And the reason for that, by the way, is there are probably some burn protocols that I'm not thinking of right now. If these things work out really, really good, then, we could be a shocker. You go to 20 billion market cap and you burn 25% of the supply, then you're talking about that's an 8, that's 80%, that's 66% more, meaning that 66% more on 2.7 is 40. We're talking about 60x, and then you reduce the supply by 25%, would be an 80x. So there's a potential for maybe an 80x at a maximum, but that is real pie in the sky. I already think that 40 is real pie in the sky level stuff. Okay. Again, I think it's easy to get to a 12 billion market cap, but things got to be in place and you got to start feeling it. And again, when people start to move into the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem because they can make yield off of it, and it's dynamic yield. So that's what attracts people. How the movie go? I don't know. The launch was at 4:20 p.m. in Louisville on Saturday. I didn't go to it. It was my first movie. I probably should have gone, but I didn't go to it. So I don't have any other information. It's available, I think, right now, or should be available very shortly on DVD. It's a limited release to begin with. It should have a vaulted video up for you guys at some point very, very soon. You want to see me die? It's going to be awesome. I'm not afraid to say it. You know what I mean? Killing me off is a smart move in any movie. You know what I mean? All right. So check out Meme Linked if you haven't. Devi, we already talked about. Crypto Bubbles. Monero, by the way, not going to be on my list here, but Monero is one that I think that you should have. So let's look right now at a couple different things here. Fear and Greed Index, still neutral. ETF inflows. The Ethereum one, inflow of 78,359 million came in, now up to $13.76 billion in capital inflows into the Ethereum ETF. The Bitcoin ETF had capital inflows of 259 million. Do you hear that? Ethereum beat Bitcoin again yesterday, but it's $57.4 billion in capital inflows into the Bitcoin ETF so far. Guys, we're not done yet. We are going so much higher. Now, let's talk about the 10 different cryptos that I think you should hold right now. And by the way, I don't think that any of these are going to make you rich unless you were already rich. These are safe calls, which are going to have significant gains, but will not be life-changing. These, again, are just going to be safe, and they're not Ethereum, okay? Or they're not Bitcoin. First up, Ethereum, currently trading at 44.39. Again, I think the top is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 6,000, but I think at this point, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to see that sort of flow. So my estimate here is you need 167 Ethereum to be a millionaire at $6,000. I think that Ethereum is, contrary to what that dumb Citigroup said, $6,000. By the way, everything dips back down, right? So wherever it goes, it's going to come back down at some point, right? And it'll be the top of the previous market or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. When I look at it and I start to zoom out and I look at 2021, we didn't break out. We didn't have that big move, but generally speaking, the dip should be to 4 or 5K. Like we should be looking at a dip into the 4,000 or 5,000 range. That should be the low, but I don't know. But Ethereum, going to be one that you're going to want to hold. Also, you're going to want to hold Solana. Again, I'm going to say this one more time, with more supply in circulation, that does mean that there is a problem. And the problem is too many coins, but there's only 10% more to go. And then all of it will be in circulation. There'll be no more questions about it. You won't have to worry about it at that point. So, again, I think there's going to be a big move. That big move is going to take it to 750. That is about a 3x from where we are right now. Again, not going to make you rich, but it's a good look. If you have $10 million and you're putting $10 million into Solana, or Solana and Bitcoin, like the DevvStream organization is doing right now, then you're going to be fine. You're going to make a significant yield, especially when you sell off and get your profit out at it. You buy it at 10 million. You run it up to 30 million, you sell your 10 million back out, you got $20 million in profit. That's your hodl bag. Then you pay back your investors with that $10 million. Boom, you just won the crypto lottery. Now you got $20 million worth of crypto that's going to go down in value to about 10 million before it goes back up a little bit higher. I don't know how they're going to play that, but Solana would be one that you want to have. Also one that you want to have, because I think this one's the one that's going to go absolutely crazy, and that is XRP. Now, we're not feeling it right now. The market is still holding on, by the way. Remember the other day I said that I think that we're going to do this move right here, that this is a great entry position. Well, it dipped a little bit harder. And I said that, maybe you want to pick up some at 270, set yourself a buy order. Well, you got right here, then you got a surge, but the surge didn't continue. However, you're in the green today, starting to move a little bit. And I think it goes to the top of this range. So if you set a buy at 302 and you're going to end up selling over here at a nice little 10% gain at 307, then I think you're going to win. I think it's again, 5x leverage. You got 50% gain off of it. It's probably going to play out. Now, if you set it too aggressive with more than 5x leverage, there's a chance you got liquidated. I don't think so, but there's a chance you got liquidated or could have gotten liquidated. But if you did set a stop at that range or something like that, still a great accumulation opportunity. I'm going to show you the charts for the market pretty soon. And when you see it, you're like, you really should have, you really should be buying and going long on a lot of different things right now. Another one that you should probably be going long on is Chainlink. Chainlink continues to be an impressive project in all of crypto. It's the leading Oracle network. It's essential for secure data feeds in DeFi and real world assets. CCIP protocol enables cross-chain interoperability, fueling growth in tokenized assets, automated finance. Analysts see a 5x potential for it. Now, when I zoom out, do I see the same thing? And the answer to that is a resounding, not exactly, but I certainly would see and think that it's going to go, again, at least 25% above the top up here. That's going to be about $66, $67. If it does go fully out to 50% over the previous top, you're talking about $82. That is at least about a 4x. So I think there's a 4x opportunity on Chainlink. Again, if you're a millionaire, perfect play. If you're not, it's probably not going to be as good to you as something else would be. Speaking of something else that would probably be really good to you, SWE. SWE consolidating in range right now, doing by the way, this is the breakout that you're looking for. You've got this descending channel that's playing out right now, and that's where the new highs get minted, because you had that over here. You had that over here, new high. You had that over here. Well, you didn't get a new high over there, but you get my point. It's starting to run back up, and it's only a matter of time before it breaks out into a brand new all-time high. So if you are not already holding SWE, then I think that you should. It's built by ex-Meta engineers. It offers parallel processing for ultra-fast transactions. It's ideal for gaming. It's ideal for DeFi. It's got strong early adoption. It's got major partners like Franklin Templeton. It could see explosive growth. It could go 5 to 15x in this market as it starts to capture market shares from slower change. Remember, the speed and finality of these things is imperative at this point. So you could be looking at a situation in which something like SWE just absolutely blows up because it settles faster, it works more robust. The fast chains are going to start to win over the slow chains. So just be prepared for a paradigm shift. Now, those are the top 5, but there's a few more that I want to talk about. And look, I always joke about Cardano being a stable coin, but this is an energy efficient proof of stake that focuses on scalability and DeFi governance. Okay, so there's ongoing adoption, institutional based, and Charles Hoskinson continues to work with U.S. lawmakers, which to me feels like if he's doing a lot of business with Donald Trump, maybe not actual business, but if he's in the room, I want to be in the room where it happened. He is in the room where it's happening. That to me sounds like something that will start a significant rally. And the question is, how far will this rally go? And like, it would not be untoward to kind of zoom out here and say, well, where's my top over here? And it's at $3.10. If it's $3.10 and we've got this significant sort of surge that we're seeing right now, then where could we end up going? Well, if you look at it from that context and you just say that, again, 25% more is going to be $4 right there. $4 right there is a 5x. And I think that it's an easy 5x. I think that Cardano is really at this point an easy 5x, that we're going to see at least a $4, by the way, probably $4.20 Cardano going into this bull run. I think we're going to see just a crazy sort of run finally from it, but that's not the only one. Also, I keep saying this, it's flying under the radar though at this point right now. It is fast. They fixed a lot of the things that have been causing congestion. Avalanche continues to be one of those cryptos where, you know, this thing is going to go absolutely insane at some point. The level of mass adoption for Avalanche is on par with almost every other chain. It's fast, it's lean, and you can also, this is, by the way, this was a paradigm shift. More are adopting it. DevE has adopted it as well. But one of the cool parts of Avalanche is that if you are a developer and a builder and you want to build your own coin, not a token that runs, but if you want to build your own coin on a layer 1 stack, Avalanche will lease it to you and you can create your own coin on the Avalanche stack, the layer 1 stack. So you would have your own layer 1 protocol launched right next to Avalanche, and it will settle, by the way, in AVAX token, but you could also choose, like, for example, if you're Microsoft and you want to create like micro or soft or whatever, MS, whatever token you want to, or coin you want to create, if you create it on their layer 1 stack, then you could settle in your own token and you don't, or coin, you don't have to use AVAX. So this is a paradigm shift in the way business is being done. Avalanche, I think, is set for a crazy amount of growth. And look, it launched in the bull run. It had a big run up to $147 on speculation. Now that it does a lot more than it was doing back then, now that it's generating revenue, now that it's producing, there's going to be a crazy run right here. And if we just kind of think about it, it's not unheard of to see like an 8 or a 10x off of this. Now, again, you got your 25% range over here off of the top, which would take it to about $182. You got your 50%, which is going to be about 220. That's about 8 to 10x potentially for Avalanche if it really goes off and has a big run. So you probably should have yourself a little bit of AVAX. Also, another one you should have, which I didn't feel this initially, like and then I started to look at all the other charts that I'm talking about that I'm bullish on. And then I realized, like, you know what? Actually, this one is, look, I tell you all the time, these are the charts that you're looking for. You're looking for the chart that has this huge move, that's very supportive, that has this crazy, crazy dip right there. If you bought into this on this area right here at $1, just way back when, right? If you went hard on this one at $1, guess what? That sumbitch ran up to $9 not long ago. Also, it retested $8 not that long ago. We're not even in a major altcoin season, and it does those kind of moves. Well, guess what? It's at 267 right now. Like, it seems like this is getting ready to happen again. Now, why would it happen? Integrating AI tools like Near.ai Assistant, shard scalability. It offers fast, developer-friendly transactions. Recent price recovery and focus on dApp innovation probably has it set up for a pretty big run. So I don't think that it would be untoward to say that this thing could probably have a nice 12 or 20x on it. Okay. Near protocol seems like, because it's AI focused, seems like it's in the right narrative, it's in the right position, and this is a crazy good buy opportunity right now. This is the first one of the ones that we're talking about where if you are not already a millionaire, this could be the one that kind of rocks your world, if you will, and gives you that millionaire vibe. Okay. This could be the one where you get like a nice little 20x return. Also, HBAR. Now, zooming out on HBAR, It's kind of at or near the top. It also launched around the same time as Avalanche in that early bull run. We got a run up to 57 cents, but that moved down to 3 cents. That moved to 3 cents that we saw all the way down there. If you got some at that period of time or in that range, then this is fantastic for you because you're trading at 23 cents right now. But then the question is, how high and how far could it go? And look, if you're looking at adoption and you look at HBAR, $10 billion market cap, again, when I say things like that, to me, that provides a limit on the length and the reason. I don't think it's going to go huge, but if it goes to a 50 billion market cap, that's a 5x from where you are right now. That is an easy win, taking it to $1.50. And that is, by the way, where I told you it was going all along. Nothing has fundamentally changed. Now, the question is, could it break towards that upside, and could it really start to hit the top of these ranges? $2.85 top of that range, and that is a 12x away. So again, Near Protocol I think is the one with the bigger opportunity, but Hedera HBAR could be one as well. High throughput distributed ledger using hash graph consensus for enterprise grade applications in supply chain and payments. Who needs supply chain and payment providence? Everybody. So mass adoption here seems like a no-brainer, and it seems like you should have some in your portfolio. Also, there's one more that I want to give you, and then we're going to be done. We're going to go into speculation, okay? And I'm going to give you some wild shit on this one. Sonic Chain. Now, for those of you who don't know, Sonic Chain used to be called Phantom. They've pivoted away, and they've now created a new project, Sonic, and it went as high as 98 cents before settling right now at around 29, 30 cents, which Phantom did the same thing. So now the question is, can it take off and can it have a nice little rally? So it provides near instant transactions, EVM compatibility, its ability to handle high volumes with low fees, plus it has big recent partnerships. So this is one where you're going to potentially have a life-changing gain as well. Problem in so much as it would be a problem that we always talk about, market cap. So what's the market cap look like? Sonic is at 862 million market cap. 10 billion, 12 billion market cap is a 12 to 15x. So I would say this, the tremendous upside for Sonic, probably a 30 billion market cap, maybe 20 billion. That means this is another one just like Near, where you could really get some crazy gains. Look, you don't want to buy, most of the time you're not going to want to buy, unless you're rich already, you don't want to buy your top 100s. But if you do want to buy some top 100s for a life-changing gain, find a big dip in the top 100 and look at that one and find out whether or not that happens to be one of them that you think is going to have a big gain. By the way, Sandbox, look at that, all the way down, almost falling out of the top 100 with Gala. Pendle in the top 100 now. Sonic right here, number 87. So it's down 62%, by the way, on the year. That's a dip that you want to buy. Floki, by the way, same thing. Dog with Hat, same thing. We're seeing a lot of red down at the bottom of this market. So those are the top 10 that I think you should have for definite gains. These are to know that you're going to get the gains. All right. Now let's talk speculative assets. Number one on this is going to be Arrow. For those of you who don't know, Aerodrome Finance is the lending arm for the base chain, or it's the biggest lender on the base chain. And since the base chain's adoption level seems to be really good, look at this 24-hour DEX volume. Base is over 1.8 billion. That's a great sign. Okay. So if that's the case, then I got to think that there's going to be a lot of institutional adoption happening right now. Problem with this chart is that this is not the chart that you want to buy right here. You want to buy down here. So if you got in at 29 to 40 cents, awesome. Like you probably won the crypto game. But if you're in this range right here, then the question is, how high could it go? And again, we look at it from a market cap standpoint. 1 billion market cap, how high could it go? 10, 20 billion market cap. So you got a 10 or 20x potentially right here. Now, I gave you that it's going to be 261,000 is how much you're going to need, because I gave it a call at $4 basically. So I think it's going to be like a 4x or something like that. But I think it's going to be the easiest of the of all the things that are out here right now. Arrow to me seems like the easiest money. That when the market starts to go crazy, I think Arrow is one of them that's going to lead the charge. So you can get your easy 4x out of Arrow and then put it into something else and get that one will run after the fact. You know what I mean? Arrow seems to run pretty quickly when the market starts to reverse. Same thing for Pendle. Pendle has about, what's Pendle market cap right now? It was like 562 not that long ago. So let's see what Pendle does. Pendle is at an 804 million market cap. Again, this is an easy, for me, this is an easy 12 to 20x. All right. Pendle, by the way, is an institutional grade lending institution on the blockchain that allows you to provide liquidity, to borrow against, to lend against, and it uses the Aave structure. So, and we know that that one works. That's probably the best so far, the way that it does dynamic lending and borrowing and everything. And you keep your assets in your wallet, just they get locked up and you can't sell them, but you can see them at all times and you know what you have. So Pendle probably going to have a crazy run, especially when we get to the moment in time where institution, retail, and everybody starts to leverage their positions to start going absolutely crazy on crypto. This is going to be one that to me is going to have an absolute breakout. Now, another speculative asset is going to be OM. For some of you, this is going to be too much for you. I don't think that I don't think if it were to go back up to its all-time high, that to me would be a miracle. And I just don't believe in miracles. That's stupid. But I do think that it could go into this $4.20 range, which is over here. And that right now is 40, what is that, 10x away, 20x away? That's at 20. Is it 20x? Yeah, 20 to 40x away is where this thing could absolutely take off. So 5, 4, 20, yeah, about 20x. So I think this is going to be an easy 20x. Now, they've done everything right. They've not done anything wrong. They've announced new partnerships, new billion-dollar partnerships, by the way. Here's the issue. The issue is what happened here with this borrower who got liquidated completely. That's going to spook some people away. So you have to survive a narrative, and there's always going to be that question that people are going to have about viability in the long term. But here it is, 218 million market cap. Again, if it just gets to a 5 billion market cap, just a 5 billion market cap, 25x away. If it goes to a 10 billion market cap, that's a 50x away. Now that would put it up near the all-time high again. Again, I told you I don't think that that's going to happen because of the way that it broke down, but there is a possibility that it goes just crazy. You know, there is that possibility. Again, we want safety, we want security, but speculative assets, this is what do I tell you to buy? I tell you to buy shit like this, like when it's dipped, when it's all the way down. By the way, I've stopped accumulating. I now have 15,000 OM, and I'm gonna keep it right there. The reason is because of something else that I'm accumulating. Devvy had a nice little rip up here to the 200 MA, dip back down to the 50 MA. I do believe that their partner is NASDAQ. I think that announcement is forthcoming. When that announcement happens, when it's made, I think it's going to go, you know, what's the number, 50x, 70x? I don't know. It's going to do at least 100x. Right now it's trading at 49. I think it's going to go to 49 cents. I think it's going to go to $49. I think it's going to go about $70. So if that's the case, if that, you know, if this breakout happens and I'm right, and I, you know, look, I don't know any reason to say that I'm right. I just feel it. Okay. I just feel that everything that's happening right now, even, by the way, since nobody really knows about Devvy, you look at the number of holders and stuff like that, and the fact that it's not really on a lot of major exchanges, it is still entirely under the radar. So if it's NASDAQ, it will be a life-changing generational pump. If it's not NASDAQ, it's still going to be, because it's a major, this is going to be a major partner, it's still going to pump 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x no matter what, because giant partners don't come along every day. And if that is the case, then we're going to have a crazy run no matter what. There's going to be an absolutely crazy run. So I'm not worried about it at all, but there is an opportunity to accumulate. Now, I'm not accumulating more because this is not the one. The other one is Definity. Again, I think it's got to find that marketplace. It's got to find that spot. But if you look at where it was versus where it is, which is about 2 cents right now, and it was up here at launch, what do I tell you? This is the chart that you're looking for. This is the chart that you're looking for, right? So it's at 2 cents right now. What if it goes at or near that all-time high again? If this thing goes to $1 billion market cap, by the way, if it goes to $1 billion market cap, I'm not saying that it will, but if it does, that's 333x or 400x from where it is right now. So that is an incredible run. Again, I don't know whether it will or not. This is entirely speculative. But even in the bull run, something big is going to happen on it because it's the bull run. When you get into the altcoin season and people start speculating or something like that on what is or could happen, then you never know, right? So at worst 4x, in theory here, probably get to the top of this range right here, which is 16 cents, which means at least an 8x from where it currently is right now. Seems like in the bag to me. So it's worth holding on just to see what happens. And if it gets a little traction and it gets a little adoption here in Forex trading, which is going to be big. Remember, everything that we're doing here is we're waiting for RWAs to really be discovered, to really be legitimized by the U.S. government. That's what we're waiting for. So once that happens, these things are going to go absolutely crazy. So I'm going to be watching for this one as a Forex trader. Now, the one that I am accumulating again, because the other day, if you guys remember, I continued to accumulate, and then it popped to $1.84. I sold around $1.50. Then I bought more at $1 when it came down to $1. Well, it's dipped down more. So guess what? I'm continuing to buy more API 3. If you don't know what API 3 is, API 3 is Chainlink on steroids. I don't think that it's ever going to pass Chainlink, but if it gets to where Chainlink is right now, then it could be a significant move. If we were to do, and we're just going to compare market caps, we're speculating a little bit here. API 3, if it goes to where Link currently has its market cap, API price is 132x to $122. Now, that means that, in my opinion, like I just told you, Chainlink is about to go so much higher, but there has to be an alternative, and it has to be a fast and better alternative for it to have a chance to get some of that adoption. And API 3 is that guy. It is one of the only competitors to Chainlink in these Oracle RWA pools, and it will pick up a significant amount of business. So there is a strong narrative out there that API 3 is just going to absolutely blow up. If it goes to, again, if it just starts to get some of that Chainlink adoption, then 132x from where it is right now. So I'm accumulating a lot more API 3 as we speak. Also, I'm grabbing VeChain. And I'm grabbing VeChain because, and by the way, I'm not a UFC guy. I like real stuff like wrestling. I don't like that fake UFC. 27 cents was where it went in the last bull run. I'm going to say this. I think it breaks out above that. So it's worth accumulating. I think that's going to be a 15 or 20x, just like everything else. And it's got so many different real world partners. So what's not to love about VeChain? Now, because it's part of the UFC, I mean, not really part of it, but because it's sponsoring the UFC, because it sponsors so many different fighters and players in the game, if you will, I do think that we will see a lot of exposure for VeChain when altcoin season hits and starts to boom. All the people watching UFC events sitting on the sidelines that are not crypto bros will start to become crypto bros. So To me, it seems like a no-brainer that this thing is going to go on an epic journey pretty soon. So I would get you some. Also, I don't think that it's going to be much longer before we start to see something happen with China and cryptocurrency. China is getting forced behind the 8 ball, if you will, and they are going to be forced to start accumulating Bitcoin if they want to keep up with the rest of the world, and they know it. So I do think that you will see some changes to China policy very soon. When that happens, the only open source blockchain in mainland China is Conflux. And that means to me that Conflux is set for a huge rally. 70 cents was my target for the next big surge, but this could be a $2 or $3 play right here. This is the largest population in the world. This is the only public blockchain in China. It's everything that you look, everything is laid out for it to be explosive. And by the way, look at what it's doing right here. This is America speculating on it. It's 6 cents the other day, not that long ago, rallied to 27 cents, gave you a nice little 4 or 5x off of it. I mean, just easy money. So I think it's going to continue to be easy money. Also, Ondo, to give you guys some clarity right there, Ondo has not broken down to where I said it was going to break down. So we're still waiting for that buy order. We're still looking to see, we could have some downward pressure here to get in there. I did set a buy order at 96 cents, 97 cents, just in case, because I want to get in on it as well, but I don't want to do it at the current price. I want to, I want to get a dip. I want that thing going up, or I want to be able to DCA at 90 cents and get a little bit more. So I got a buy order set at 97. I don't have one set at 90 cents right now. I told you I was going to, but I didn't set it at 90 cents. Also, Centrifuge did not come down at all. It's actually on a green day right now. I'm still going to wait for 25 cents and 21 cents to see what happens there. And I'm going to accumulate a little bit at 25. I'm going to accumulate a lot more at 21, and we'll see what happens with that one. But guess what we did get? Syrup yesterday did hit my goal. Remember, I gave you the target yesterday. I said, and I set this one at 43.5. So it came down. I got some. I'm up like a couple of bucks right now. Remember, I was only putting 50 bucks in. So I'm up a couple of bucks right now, or a couple of pennies right now, whatever the number is. I'm up a little bit. So if it comes down into that 36 cent range and we get a little bit of a dip in the market, if we get that, then I'm going to accumulate a little bit more. So we're in a good position right now with each and every one of these for that next leg up. Now, by the way, that next leg up, we kind of zoom out and look at it. That top right there, 53 cents. We were just there not that long ago. If you look at that, like there's a lot of settling. There's a lot of resistance and support right in that range right there. So I think a surge into that 53 cent range probably coming pretty quick. That's going to be a 10% gain. That would be about 12 bucks on 50. Not a lot, not even worth it, but we'll take that 12 bucks. If that happens, then we're going to sell at that point, and we're going to set another bid at 43.5 cents to see if we get that opportunity. Now, the other opportunity would be down here towards the bottom of this range at 40 cents. So if we get down to 40 cents, I may make a quick strategy change, and I may go after it at 40 cents. But that, again, depends on whether or not we bounce off of this range, come back up here, take our profit right there, and then we're going to see if it doesn't come down back into this range, kind of halfway in between this high and this low buy zone that we're talking about. So we'll see what happens there. But we got triggered on syrup. So we got some of that. Now, Luna Classic, we already talked about. We know what's going on there. There are a few of them out there that we'll see what happens. Meme linked. We're going to see how that plays out, see what happens there. I've got XVM. XVM continuing its reversal. Now, guys, I gave you a video on this the other day. Look what's happening today. You're getting this nice little breakout here. It's consolidating. I get the sense here that this thing is primed for a break. I don't know if it will, but we've got lower highs or we've got higher lows. It's starting to move up, 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 up. Real world utility. It's we've got this sort of range right here. Like, seems like we're kind of in that little inflection point where, you could see just a crazy, crazy, crazy sort of move right now. what I would look at would be Bollinger Bands. Are they tightening up? They're getting real tight. They're starting to break, and they're breaking to the upside. So we'll see what happens. Believes Doge over $1 this bull market? No, I don't think they're. I'm just going to give you my opinion of that. No, I don't think there's any way that it goes that high. Unless, I mean, you know what? Let me rephrase that. If Elon creates the Everything app and you have that opportunity to use Dogecoin, then yes. But also, problem is you can still mine Dogecoin, and you're mining unlimited amounts of Dogecoin. So when you look at Doge and you look at it from a market cap standpoint, you have a $40 billion market cap, $4 billion in volume. People are trading like crazy. But here's the market cap, right? The market cap back in the old days went up to 60, what is that, 75, something like that? Went up to 74 billion market cap. If it goes to 74 billion market cap again, like it did in December of 2024, what's going to happen? So if we look at it from, let's just do Dogecoin here. All right. So last time went to, oh, by the way, this is not, okay. So, but last time it went to 75 cents. Okay. When it came back to that all-time high market cap, this time only 47 cents, and people have continued to mint more. So, you know, probably looking at this range right here as a breakout zone. I don't know how high, you know, if it goes to 100, I'll put it this way. If it goes to 100 billion market cap, okay, it would still not be $1. It would only be 72 cents. So it wouldn't even be as high as it was before, 78 cents. So it would be about where it was before, but it would have 25 billion more in market cap. So I just don't feel that over $1 is going to help at all. Avantis. Now, I didn't name Avantis as one of them, but let's go look at that real quick. Oh, it just got listed on Coinbase a couple days ago. Look at that. Look at that shit right there. Went from 30 cents up to $1.50. 5x. Woo! Dumped XVM website looks very sketchy. You know what? I said the same thing when I was first looking at it, because I was like, and I'm in a private chat, by the way, because they have like a KOL, I don't know, KOL party or whatever, whatever they call it. And I was just, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like but they don't have anything going on for, like, they've got a massive launch that they're supposed to be doing in November. So I'm going to ride it out for another 2 months. We're going into a bull run. So I think that there's some opportunity right there. Let's do Avantis one more time. Like, I want to see the one with crypto. We just want to do crypto. Oh, here we go. Crypto right there. That's the one I was looking for. Oh, God damn it. All right. So this is a relaunch, by the way. But that's looking pretty good so far. So if you haven't, you might want to get yourself some Avantis. And I think that that's a security protocol, by the way. If you guys remember, we were talking about this a long time ago. So, you know, as a security protocol, this might be something that it's in the space or range of maybe we get some mass adoption. And it's dipping right now down 21%. But guess where it dipped to? The top of this range right here. So this is where you're supposed to accumulate, because that's where you get your strong bounces and that's where you get your recovery test. So could be easy money on Avantis if you take advantage of it. So, or if you take Avantis of it. All right. So anyway, that's the show, guys. I got to get out of here. I got a bunch of stuff to do today. So thank you for tuning in. We're not going to be able to get into like our meme coins and stuff like that. Actually, you know what? Let's do that for 1 second here real quick. You've got XVMs up 38% on the day. You've got Right Wing up 37% on the day. Fias up 5%. MK up 1%. Bonk up 1%. API up 1%. Mantra 0.5%. Blocky, dead even on the day. Rocky, dead even on the day. Volt, dead even on the day. Definity down a little bit on the day. O'Hare still down. Tars AI down. Crocky sitting kind of down as well. I think 100X is usually on this list, but it's not on the list right now. So I don't know. Sometimes this thing, yeah, sometimes shit just disappears. Who knows? Anyway, that's it, guys. I got to go. You guys have a good day. It's not financial advice, but I'm always
I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining